Welcome to the Batch Boys. We are boys who love the Batch, and it is week 8. Hometown dates. Cheers to the hometown dates, boys.
To hometown
to Ben and all the ladies. I'm Ryan S.
I'm Casey S.
I'm Daniel B.
And I'm Jake C.
And we are the Batch Boys. That's right. It was hometown week this week. 4 different hometown dates. Ben got to meet a bunch of different families of our 4 remaining women, 3 of which are Batch Boys picks, and things got real. So we're going to get right in to the real action, the real deal. Starting with the real deal, Amanda Stanton, mother of 2, hometown, Daniel's hometown.
That's right. We took a trip down south to Orange County for this episode. It was great seeing some shots of the beaches that I would go to in high school and hang out with my friends. You know, some great memories for Ben and Amanda, and some great memories that were a part of my life as well.
You know what? I think you never did in high school though that she did that you never did, which was that you never brought a man never really spent any time with to meet your children on the beach who you hadn't seen yet.
You also didn't have any children.
Unfortunately, guys, you were both incorrect. I did bring strange men and my own children to that exact beach.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Laguna
and the
Beach,
strange
Montauk.
man.
School?
In high school.
Dang.
This was all happening. I know we've only been friends for a short time, but hopefully we'll get to know each other a little bit better throughout
Well,
the
that
process
strange
of the
man
show.
ended up leaving with Daniel's children, and that's why we've never seen or heard from them. So there's a perfectly logical explanation. And
Easy come, easy go.
yeah, if you didn't learn the lesson about not bringing strange men home from this episode tonight, hopefully you learned it from the Batch Boys tonight, because I don't know, I just feel like, I don't know, did anyone else get like a morally impermissible vibe from this whole thing? Like, I didn't feel like Ben, I don't know, I can't decide if it's a fault of Ben or Amanda, but I just feel like, why would you bring a guy to meet your kids, get your kids involved, when you know there is a 75% chance that he may not end up with you in a week this time? You know,
I think it's the same reason that you go on national television to find your husband, because you believe in things where the odds are stacked against you.
Yeah, and I feel like at that point you're so deep in it, in the final 4, that it's like, I love him, everyone else has to love him, and that includes my children.
Well, just think about the structure of the show. They had the auditions at a casino. To Casey's point, you're exactly right. The Bachelor is all about playing with the odds.
look, it's a gamble. Love's a gamble.
Always is.
Love's a gamble, and your life's in shambles if you
Unless-
make the wrong bet, right?
Whoa.
But if you make the right bet and you have great legs, why not wear some boxers to the beach?
That's why I always bet on black.
Like Ben's hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
The
what it
metaphor
is.
works. The metaphor works. I
How'd
think.
you
It
guys
holds
feel
up.
about Ben's shorts this episode?
Great, fantastic legs, shaved legs. Did you see that?
Oh,
Ladies
were
and
they
gentlemen?
shaved?
Oh, like a baby's behind. They were smooth like silk,
Maybe that's what JoJo's brothers saw. Maybe they saw right through him.
right through.
He
the
walked in, he's like,
epidermis.
they're like, this is a Persian household. Let me grab your ankle. And he grabs it, and he's like, no hair. What happened? He's like, water polo in high school. He's like,
True.
High school was a long time for you.
True, they were very aggressive towards Ben, but that is long after Amanda had just a boring hometown. Really,
I think
if
it was
anything.
exactly what Ben kept saying the whole episode, is that things were very real at this point.
It's so real.
And
Everything's so real.
that's what kind of
Yeah.
made his date with Amanda sort of difficult, is that it was super real. It was just like spending a day with her and her kids, and it was hard. Like, kids are hard, and he didn't realize that.
Her kids were the one was so difficult. The one was like the least happy child I've ever seen with any adult. Like, it was crazy.
But understandably so, right? With this man who she's never met, and all these cameras, and like being depraved from seeing their mother for weeks. I think the kid's position was very understandable.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
definitely get where the kids are coming from. And like Ben too, he's like still jet lagged from the Bahamas. Like, and he's just gone to his own hometown. He's just kind of flying around everywhere, and now he has to deal with these children, one of which doesn't speak and only cries. No thanks. In these shorts? Not me.
with these legs,
Fun fact, those were actually just painted on. Those weren't shorts at all.
Like some body art. I like that.
wow.
We
that-
know Ben's a fan of body art.
Is he?
Yeah, he's tatted.
Well-established
Oh,
fact.
well.
Ben loves body art.
True. Yeah, well, yeah, we do have the ink. We never confirmed what the ink says, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out what Ben's tattoo says. It's the last thing we do. Yeah, her kids really didn't like him, though. That was kind of a shame. And he really tried. And the parents gave him a hard time too. I mean, they were just right. He's too young. He's not ready to be that stepdad for those two kids. Very challenging kids who like to be chased.
He has the legs of a father who needs to have his own children when he's at the rightful age, where his legs are no longer so spry. You know, he was too fit to be chasing those kids. He caught her in a second. He needs to have some more weathered legs that take a little longer to catch the child.
Some more wind resistance.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. He's too fast. The kid couldn't catch him. That's why they didn't have a real connection. And unfortunately, that's why Amanda had to go home, because of Ben's smooth legs. Spoiler alert, Amanda went home. I think I only bring it up now because that's the first date. We're on the topic, and it's important to note that the remaining 3 ladies are Bach Boys picks. We picked the final 3, except for Daniel and technically Casey, because he forfeited the bet because he doesn't think Kayla's actually going to win.
She's not.
She's not.
He's
not.
not.
No, you forfeited because you believe she wasn't there for the right reason.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't care if she wins or not. I think, everything about her screams that she's not ready for Ben or real love or even possibly like any human interaction. But we'll get to Kayla.
We'll get to her because obviously Amanda's day did not go very well. It was boring. Was just the fact of the matter. It was a boring hometown. Her kids were tougher than Ben thought he was ready for. And yeah, they didn't do anything, and the parents weren't necessarily supportive. So the odds were working against him.
It was funny when he showed up to the house, and the parents like immediately were like, "Ben looks exhausted," and Amanda looks really happy, but Ben looks exhausted. And it's like I felt like that theme continued throughout all of these hometown dates, where Ben just like it didn't go well ever.
It has
like,
to be
really
exhausting, dude. Like I can't imagine this is like a luxurious week of flying to freaking 4 different states, having to be interrogated by like 4 different dads, 4 different moms, and like the odds and ends of brothers and sisters ranging from like 13 to 38. It must have just been like hell on earth. I've never actually thought about it really, because I've seen obviously every season, but I've never really thought about it until now that must actually suck butt. It's got to be tough.
Especially when you know who you're picking and who you're not picking.
Well, yeah, because it was so obvious. Yet again, is it just me, or is Lauren B definitely going to win this thing on her hometown? They were all over each other. They couldn't be happier. Ben like was busting at the seams when he met her family. It was like he had just won the lottery. You know, it was crazy. And they had a really fun hometown.
Yeah, he was super excited when he found out that she liked butter on her like pizza or whatever that was.
It was like a weird egg dish. I think
it was it not butter either way. Like he just.
I don't think there was any butter. They just had a food truck. It was bad. It was gross food. It was food truck food. But but yeah.
I mean, you know, they got a nice waffle sandwich from the Cluck truck, and then he said, "If I were to die with anyone right now, I'm glad it's you," or something along those lines.
That's what I like to say to girls on dates.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
Right before you meet their parents, remind them that you'd be happy dead with them. But yeah, they were so cute. They were so all over each other. They were so all about it. And then when Lauren's sister, Molly Bushnell, Chapman University current student, right? Alumni. Well, hey, are we in the same class?
Nope.
Nope. She's older than us, right? By a lot?
No, a year.
Oh, she's a year older than us. But we went to school with her. So, I don't know. None of us knew her. I didn't know her. Did you know her? No one knew Molly?
I
feel
don't
like we
think
know
we
her
do
now.
even now, apparently.
Well, Molly, if you're watching, we went to school with you, and we think your sister's really something. So send us a message.
You can find us on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud.
You can slip into our DMs on Insta or FB or Twitter. Do they do DMs on Twitter?
Yes, they do. I think that's
Nice.
where they originated
Nice.
from. Yeah.
I'm not the social media guy.
We'll get to that.
We'll talk social media later.
We'll get that.
You know what's interesting though? In my opinion, I think Molly actually stole the show. I think she came out there and she was asking the hard-hitting questions, but in the right kind of way, you know. And she was straight up with Ben. She's like, "Look, you're seeing 3 other families this week. How am I going to know that Lauren's different?" And Ben, you could tell that his heart wanted to cry out and just tell her like, "Look, this is all
his
a
eyes
ruse."
cried out.
Well,
So
he did
his
cry.
Words leaked out of his face as he just sat there.
That was
she
nuts.
knew.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Whoa, you just answered my question." Like, damn, Ben is so in love with Lauren, and she cried to Molly. When Molly asked her like the same question, Lauren just starts crying.
Oh, it's a done deal.
It's so done,
Yeah.
and it's almost like, why am I continuing to watch the show? But like,
So
God,
moving on, we'll have
I
a
love
segment at her.
watching it. I love watching. I just love watching this. Like, you know, it's gonna happen. It's like a rom-com, and you just have to wait for him to knock all the the people who are wrong for him off.
It's a lot like the Die Hard series, where you know that, like, in this case, Lauren, she's gonna be okay. Like, she's gonna make it through. Their relationship's gonna make it through.
She's the Bruce Willis in this metaphor.
Yes, she is. But there's just a lot of obstacles, and like, you think she's gonna die a lot. Even Ben says, if I died right now, it'd be all right. But at the end of it, you know that there's gonna be a Die Hard 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. Who knows?
And also, Ben is really good at finding weaknesses in the enemy's defense, and the enemy being his excuses that he has to come up with to get out of the other relationships by always turning it on them. You know.
Well, he's a crafty guy. He had military experience, right?
He defuses the bomb, if you will.
He dies hard for Lauren.
Nice.
Who's next?
Well, I just want to give a shout out to
Enough of Ben.
enough of the winner. Don't be jealous, Daniel, because you're the first pick to lose.
Can we just talk about the end of the episode where we got to see her brothers ask the question that you never really think the Bachelor will acknowledge is being asked about the
Lauren's
fantasies.
brothers. Lauren's like 13 or 14 year
or
old
like
brothers.
young brothers being like, "So, are you gonna sleep with our sister in the fantasy suite?"
And his answer, just to quote, is such a total accidental innuendo. What did he say? I'm not going to put her in a position that is degrading to her at all. Wow.
He really put his foot in his mouth after
Ben,
that.
I could see why it didn't make it to air, but thanks for sharing it with us, ABC.
No, it did air.
Quality. Well, it didn't put in like the good part.
It was
the
the
real
post
part.
credits. It was after the kids were
was
tucked in.
right.
It's like, all right, that's enough
Yeah.
Bachelor tonight. Ooh, credits.
Hey, mom and dad.
It's time for mom and dad.
Here's something sexy for you. Shout out quick. You said Molly Bushnell stole the show, but I'd like to give a shout out to Tessa Bushnell, the 18-year-old dog that they like forced a treat into its mouth. I was just like, dang, what is that thing, like 190? Like, that's crazy. Congratulations to the dog.
Next
It's like not.
Bachelorette, maybe.
It's like 150. 150.
Next Bachelorette. I
You
like
never
that.
know. Look, she's got quite the love story.
Yeah,
You know?
she doesn't have any teeth, but she can take a bone like a champ.
Speaking of accidental innuendos, am I right? Except I don't think that was an accident, Jake. I think you need to put $1 into the innuendo jar.
I just feel like I haven't been saying much.
You were certainly heard now.
It feels good, I gotta say.
Well, you've stopped everything. Just like actually Lauren's dad stopped everything for me when she called her baby Lolo. I want to
Or
call her baby Lolo.
Oh.
Baby Lolo. I'm going to tweet at her. Baby Lolo.
Speaking of babies, Kayla's dad was really in the toy business there, huh?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time toy boy. and
Ben's a big time boy toy.
And Kayla's a big time boy joy.
No, she's a big time Filipino girl. And the thing is Ben
And she comes packaged.
Does she eat poi?
Oh,
Wrong
don't
island.
come on, Jake. Don't be coy.
I just don't know. I'm sorry, guys.
Have you been eating too much soy?
You know?
You should talk to my cousin Roy. He's a doctor of boys.
Look,
So toy business, huh?
yeah, what I was just gonna say is, like, when you guys like picture a man whose like whole like livelihood is creating like small toys for children, it's exactly Kayla's father. Like 5'1" with like a little curly Q white hair that like sticks perfectly to his forehead. Just like he weirded me out. Like, he seemed like a good dad, but just like something about his like love for the Filipino culture like seemed disingenuous. It just seemed
That was
like
weird. When he was like, the best part about Kayla is that she comes with her own Filipino community. It's like, what?
Like, she's gonna arrive with a busload of like Filipino people. Like, we're here to love you too.
Welcome to Denver. To the shout out to Kayla's Filipino community.
Great time for the Filipino community. Great airtime.
Great
Great
airtime.
airtime.
Yeah, getting a lot of publicity off of this right now. Yeah, I thought that was funny. That he was like. He was so appreciative of his Filipino community. He was like, "It's made me the man. I changed my life." I was like, "All right, like, good for you, man." Like, hope the toy business is recession proof, so he's pretty well off.
Well, here's the thing about their toy business. Just taking a half step back, their date was so cool.
No,
Like,
it was not.
That was, dude, making a house and then building it in a factory together.
That's another thing
That's another Daniel Burke.
Clear Eyes
on the
Dan.
list.
Clear Eyes Dancer
Stealing
hazy.
from The Bachelor.
No, what? Building a little toy house?
Let
What are you
us
gonna do
know
with that?
in the comments below.
Wait,
would
guys.
you want to go on the toy house date? Because to me, that sounds awesome.
We should start a poll or something. But
they
start
made
in the
the parts
comment.
right in front
just
of her.
comment. Just
I mean,
comment. We
there's
want to know.
nothing quite like free labor on a date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like what? And the fact was, like, they built this house together. Like it was clearly so meaningful to Kayla and meant nothing to Ben. That's another thing that I'm like, this is morally impermissible. Like how, like Ben, like how you gonna put up this house with Kayla and just like when she's like, this means everything to me, and you just go, aww.
This is a nice one, Pablo. Oh, guys. So I have one.
It's okay. It's okay.
I have a theory about the whole toy business. I really feel like that's how.
No more theories. No more theories.
listen.
Your theories make me sick.
I
Continue
feel
with the
like
theory.
that is how Kayla's dad met her mom. It was through his toy business, and it must have been in the Philippines. You know.
I mean,
Oh, you
that's-
think
that,
Kayla-
that doesn't sound very much like a theory. That just kind of sounds like you're putting pieces together.
Yeah, well,
like
the
a
thing
house.
the thing it beckons me to wonder is whether or not Kayla should be doing The Bachelorette, but like within the Philippines as a way to meet her husband.
I
You know?
understand. I understand.
Well, I don't think that's right.
I
Just 'cause
think
she
toys are really important to her, and there's a lot of toys being made out, that part of the world.
in the Philippines.
It's all speculation, but
You know nothing of the Filipino toy industry. You're blowing smoke. You're practically lying.
whatever I can say to get Kayla off the show.
He just really wants to date you, but remember that he betrayed you. He doesn't think you're here for the right reasons,
Love
Kayla.
is complicated.
Oh, there are shades of gray. There's a lot of shades of gray. And there are a lot of shades of gray in love, as we especially saw with JoJo's hometown date. So let's just get into it, because Kayla's honestly was pretty boring. The thing with the house was dumb. I wouldn't do it ever.
I think it was cute.
It was kind of cute, but like, bleh. It just felt forced. And like, whereas Lauren's hometown date just felt like real and natural and fun, and like that they were super stoked about it, and it just felt like he was like, oh, cool, your dad makes toys. But yeah,
So JoJo?
yeah, shades of gray. Shades of gray. How about it? That the flowers in the card from the ex. Whoa, Chad.
So
Shame
I want to
on
throw
you.
this. I want to throw this back to something I said last week. The little cliffhanger that I left you guys on about referring to the producers now as shepherds. And this is
Right,
one of
right,
those
right, right, right.
examples where we know that the producers, every contestant is paired up with their own personal producer, and it's the producer's job to get to know these contestants so that they can secretly sabotage them. Just like a shepherd raises a sheep and fights off bears, they're like, keep away like outside music, or keep away books. We need them to be focused on their grazing, and then you fatten them up and they shear them. And then they send them to the slaughter. And this is the thing. That whole scene reeked of producer stank. And
I think
it
it
made me
reeked of
upset.
Chad stank.
And it made me upset because I like JoJo a lot.
No,
I
but-
think she's great. Like I think she's awesome. But the whole thing with their family and all the stuff with the roses. What are you laughing?
Well, let's start with the roses. No, I'm kind of with you.
the shepherds.
Just the whole thing, just the producer stank.
Yeah, the
I can,
sending them off
smell
to the
stank
slaughter.
from here.
I
mean,
know.
I can smell it through the TV. That's the thing. Like, there's no way that the flowers are going to show up just like that. you
I
know?
agree. Like,
Yeah.
what are the odds that would happen on this same exact day? Like, I feel like Chad had to have reached out to the producers of the show or something, knowing she was on it.
No.
Like, because they would have gone
All
for
the
that
way
in a-
around, for
No,
sure.
no way. I don't.
How in the world is someone actually on their phone that is under the age of 30 at the time you need them? You know what I mean? It's always a text. You always text. That whole scene was producer orchestrated. The Puppet Masters. They're like, "Yo, be on your phone at
I guess you're
11:30
right.
because we need to call you."
The thing that was interesting to me, which if I think about it, is just when he called in, the phone number was blurred, or like the phone screen was blurred. I don't know if that's because they're trying to not show Apple, or because it was an unblocked number.
Don't say that brand.
McDonald's.
yeah,
McDonald's is cool.
but if he just really didn't consent to it or something, and maybe it was like said his name, they're like, nope, can't use that, but we can still use him to stank up the joint.
But boy, did that guy sound like a Chad. I mean,
Yeah.
whoa.
I mean,
Her brother's probably-
39 days to mature and learn what love was.
Oh my God, that was kind of.
It's almost like he's a contestant on The Bachelor.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Well, look, JoJo lives a fast-paced lifestyle.
Well, no. Here's the thing that's crazy though is like JoJo straight up told Ben, she's like, "I called him to tell him it was all over." She couldn't get through his letter. She wanted nothing to do with it,
Yeah.
and that to me shows that JoJo's in fact there for the right reasons.
Yeah, good
Definitely.
Sorry.
No. I mean, I just agree. Like, I just think definitely what she did is commendable in terms of that she's obviously really there for Ben. If she wasn't going to reconsider her, like, going back to her ex, like, obviously she really has feelings for Ben. You know, I don't mean to poo-poo all over Chad because, the guy, well, I want to poo-poo on the producers because I think you're right. I think the producers got Chad involved. I kind of feel bad for Chad for getting involved in this whole situation,
Screw him.
His fault started when he was named. I don't like Chad.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this show and your name is Chad, we don't like you.
There's a couple guys named Chad I know who I like. Shout out to the good Chad.
So one of my good friends named his car Chad. Guess what his car was? A bright orange Mitsubishi Lancer Rally Art.
I don't
That's
even know
the kind
what
of
that
car
looks
person.
Like.
Well,
Did Chad's
it's the
car
car without a
steal your
mouth.
girl?
Chad.
Yeah, it's a Chad for sure.
Yeah, did Chad
I
the
think-
car steal your girl?
I think Chad probably got along great with JoJo's brothers though.
Probably. They really liked him. But he was a bad Chad. He wasn't a rad Chad. There's rad Chads and bad Chads. And the bad Chad, I guess her brothers like because they're bad guys. They seem like bad guys. I don't know. They just seemed so obnoxious from the minute like Ben walked into her house. So obviously the whole thing with the ex blew over. That was actually a good moment for them, like because they got to have a real conversation. So real. Everything was so real this week. And the brothers, they walk in the house and the brothers are all over JoJo and screaming and they were drunk, like very definitely like drunk. I don't know. They were obnoxious from the start, and I just felt like they gave Ben a really hard time. But something when they're giving him a hard time, like it's because it's coming from a place that they really, really care about, like JoJo, or in Kayla's case, Dad really cares about Kayla. Like the only when they're getting in the way, it's only because they don't want to see their family get hurt.
I don't know. I feel like they were both Dennis from It's Always Sunny. And that they were just like, we're on national TV. We have to appear like we care about our sister. And the way that we do that is by being mean to the guy she likes, right?
They were on the D in the Dennis system and demonstrating their value. They're trying to like seduce some women. I could see that. I mean, yeah, they did seem like kind of, I don't know, like the right way to say this. They just seemed like douchebags.
Well, they didn't believe in the process.
They were just overly abrasive,
Mm-hmm.
and like the thing when that happens is like I understand they're trying to look out for JoJo, but at the same time they don't even really recognize how it's like really hurting her in the moment. Is she's bringing home this guy. It's a big thing for her to also have to admit that she's coming back for the first time in like a month to see her family, no contact with this guy that she met with like 28 other women and stuff. And it's a really bizarre situation to come to your family about and try to pitch this as a real thing. And they're just totally not acknowledging Ben at all. And she's like, guys, Ben, please don't make me look bad like I have a, sloppy family who just gets drunk and doesn't care about the man I'm with.
The mom had to be scolded not to be drinking out of the bottle.
Straight out of the bottle. The dad was so mad. I wish we had a video clip. Maybe we can Instagram it or something. But yeah, the dad was so mad when his wife drank straight out of the champagne bottle
on ABC.
Here's the thing that to Jake's point, like if they have it seems like they have a problem with the show, not as much as with Ben, you know what I mean? Like, so why didn't they bring this up earlier?
Well,
39 days earlier.
I would have liked to have seen Chris Harrison be brought in at this moment to be like, sit them down and be like, guys, why don't you believe in the process? Why don't you want your sister to find true love?
Here's the thing. I guarantee you if the producers contacted them to be on The Bachelorette, they would 100% do it. I want to be the next Bachelor.
Yeah.
They would love that. So it's I think very hypocritical.
Yeah, I think it's a very double standard way of
and just like
Totally.
screw them for judging Ben because we're totally not judging them right now, right, guys?
Yeah. Well, and it's totally misogynistic.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
they were definitely trying to like control their sister and they were like, we don't want to see you get hurt, but they also weren't trusting her judgment, and she was very clear about her intentions and he was very clear about his. And the fact of the matter is, at the end of the night, JoJo's dad said something that was really cool. He, like, the brothers were still giving a really hard time, and the dad was like, look, like, this is just as hard a situation for Ben as it is for JoJo. Like, he's not having an easy time. He seems like an honest man. Like, all we can do is trust his words. And it's, like, true. Like, and Ben's a real guy. He's honest and earnest and straightforward. And he's here for the right reasons. That's all you can do. He's been there for the right reasons from day one. It took me a while to see it, but I really think he showed his true colors this week. And yeah, Amanda went home ultimately. It's JoJo, Kayla, and Lauren left. Lauren's obviously going to win, but regardless, those are 3 Batch Boys picks. So we nailed it. Premiere season 1, Batch Boys, 3 out of 4 of us, Final 4. Final 3.
Who do you think is going to be number 2? JoJo? You think it's going to be JoJo versus...
It is.
I feel like he's going to let...
It's gotta be.
Who do you
He's
think
gonna let Kayla go because she's falling too hard.
No, I just don't. I still don't buy it with her.
No, but she's like crying and stuff about it.
Kayla is just on such a different page. She's in a different book than Ben is. You know what I mean? It's like
Great girl.
Totally.
yeah, I mean, she's nice enough, but like whenever she gets close to maybe just kind of playing ball and like really just being like normal about it, she throws a like, oh my God, I want to tell him I love him so much. But
Yeah.
Which is a direct result from her growing up in many different homes across the country and never settling. So she doesn't know how to settle
You're
on a
not
feeling.
the psych major, bro. Or minor. Sorry, I don't want to misrepresent.
Yeah, that's who you cut off. Like I was saying. She, I don't know. I don't even remember.
The point is, I do think that at the end of the day, her brothers picked up on something that is kind of true about the show, which is that it was obvious that any of the girls, felt a stronger connection to Ben, this is with the exception of Lauren, than he felt for her. You know, because the fact of the matter is, with everyone except for Lauren, he does feel less than they do for him. And so that's the tough thing. I think he really is wrestling with it because I think he does have feelings for them all. But at the end of the day, next week, he's going to tell 2 different women that he's in love with them. And I think he's telling the truth, Like, I just think, like, the show does crazy things to people. It's why I love the show. It's unprecedented for him to tell 2 different girls before the final episode that he loves them. It's going to be an amazing episode.
I'm really looking forward to next week.
I think it's going to be probably JoJo and Lauren. I don't know. We'll see. Fantasy Suite. Ben is going to have a great time.
Do you think that Kayla's father designed the board game Monopoly because they moved so much and he based it on their life and he's secretly been alive for hundreds of years?
I think her dad designed that like robot punching game, where the heads pop off.
Saga Bobbers?
No.
Robots.
Rock'em Robot. Rock'em Sock'em Robots because Kayla's going to have to learn how to take a punch. Is basically the point. Does the metaphor work? I don't know. She's gonna lose. I'm sorry, Kayla, you're gonna lose.
So if you want to connect with us, you can find us on batchboys.net. You can also find us on Facebook.com/batchboys, at batchboys on Twitter, at the Batch Boys on Instagram, and share the episode. Comment on the YouTube below if you're watching.
Subscribe
or whatever.
Subscribe. A lot of you people watch, and
we're very close to 100. We need that.
We're
so we
so
can
close.
Get the shortened URL.
We want the domain. Everyone should subscribe. We'd be there in a second.
Do it while it's cool.
Send money to Jake Collins on Venmo.
Last name revealed.
I just dropped my own last.
That's 2 of us out in the open.
3.
But that's only so you can send him money. So please do. Well, cheers
the
to
dads.
to
I'm going to give
hometowns.
Kayla's dad my rose for the week. Cheers to Kayla's dad.
I give it to Tessa, the 18-year-old dog, the miracle, the Wunder dog.
And to McDonald's all day
And to McDonald's all day breakfast. Never forget.